This First Alert weather.
Well, right now we're looking at our Concordia camera here from Cloud County Community College. 30 degrees is that current temperature for the moment. Feels like 20 though, compared to what that actual temperature is. Almost a 10-degree difference there because of those northerly winds blowing at about 15 miles per hour. So it's been a very frigid start to the morning. Thankfully, this is probably the lowest our temperatures are going to get here over the next week. We should be warming up very slowly but surely into the middle to end of this upcoming week, and then next weekend as well. Dew point at 24 degrees, visibility only at 6 miles, but precipitation is not something that's necessarily hindering that visibility at the moment. Right now we do see there are some bands of snow pretty much straddling the entirety of the border here between Kansas and Nebraska, and we see most of that is starting to move out of the area now and hasn't really affected too many parts of northeast Kansas. A lot of these bands earlier though did move over Concordia, but it really looks like a lot of what we're seeing on the radar did not make it to the ground in that area. That's not to say we're totally in the clear, though, for the chances of precipitation for today. It just looks like a lot of it is going to be arriving a little bit later, and thankfully more so in a mix of that precipitation we were talking about last night, because we can look towards the southwest here, towards the Wichita area, where we can see a little bit of those bands starting to come up here, probably passing near or through Emporia pretty soon. It looks like they have a mix there of rain, snow, and a little bit of sleet as well, but we should start to see things move a little bit further to the northeast. Topeka potentially getting some of this precipitation probably within the next 3 to 4 hours, but likely to be short-lived and pretty isolated. I don't think we're going to see nearly as widespread of coverage of rain as we saw yesterday as it compares to these other precipitation types. Dew points right now are fairly low across most of the region as well, so that's going to probably inhibit all of what we're seeing on the radar from falling to the ground, so a little bit of relief and lightening of the situation there as well. Here's a look at our supercast showing you what we expect here for the rest of the day. As I mentioned, within the next 4 to 5 hours, we will start to see that move out of the area, very isolated or becoming even more isolated than it already is if we do see any more further of that precipitation in the region. And then by tonight, we should be seeing much clearer skies here, and that's going to lead us to the next several days of very dry conditions, at least in compared to the last 2 days, because those percentages here are going to be near zero all the way through this week and probably towards next weekend as well. But we're still going to be dealing with the cold here for at least another 4 to 5 days before things become a little more average. 37 for today for that high temperature. Again, probably the lowest high temperature we'll have all week long. Light winter precipitation here, so I'm not going to confine it just to snow, but we could see a little bit of that sleet and rain mixed in as well, but it should be very light. 25 degrees for tonight, northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We are clearing out maybe a little bit of that precipitation, very, very isolated pockets lingers around, but overall we should be okay. And then as we head towards this upcoming week, things look to be pretty dry for the most part, and we'll be warming up very, very slowly here after Tuesday. Halloween itself should be pretty chilly.